Stop me if you've heard this before. The NREMT is way too hard. It wants you to fail, and its questions are unfair. What about this? My registry shut off at 120 questions. I must have just barely passed. Or my registry shut off after 72 questions. I must have nailed it. All of these statements are bogus. Good news is we've become experts on the registry, so you don't have to. Let's get you up to speed.
The first step to conquering this exam is to know your enemy. The NREMT is certainly intimidating, but we pride ourselves in preparing you so that you can go in confident and walk out proud. To do this, we have to understand how the registry works, what to expect, and then how to prepare.
First, the NREMT is split into two parts, the psychomotor and the cognitive. The psychomotor portion is demonstrating your practical skills in a proctored environment. Your program and clinicals will prepare you well for this, and it's a lot easier to prepare for as the stations are somewhat predictable. You'll do things like demonstrate airway techniques, assess a patient, read and interpret EKGs, and deliver cardiopulmonary resuscitation. That's not the portion that most people freak out about.
What our program is designed to do is to prepare you for the big, scary cognitive exam. This is a multiple choice exam with quite a bad rap, for some legitimate reasons, and some not so much. This is the exam we're discussing today.
What's so intimidating about the exam is that it's unique to every individual. No one will be able to tell you what questions are going to be on yours, or even what types of questions will be, outside of 5 main topics: airway, cardiology, trauma, medical, and operations.
Studying for this exam consists of studying what you've learned over the past 6 to 18 months in your EMT or medic program, and can be a daunting task. But hopefully we can take the sting out of its bite today by clearing up the mystery surrounding this exam, debunking some of the rumors, and providing you with the content you need to review in order to pass on your first go.
The NREMT is a computer adaptive exam. This differs from most other standardized testing that use a linear model of examination. Linear exams have a certain number of questions that are all the same for everyone, and a certain number you need to get right in order to complete it. So for instance, a 100-question exam requires a 75 or more right to be considered a passing grade. You're used to this. It's ingrained in you as the norm. But computer adaptive testing is nothing like it. Computer adaptive testing, like the NREMT, uses a scale of difficulty of questions from a large bank to determine if you are meeting a standard over time. As you get questions right, the questions will get harder and harder until you start to get questions wrong.
Provided you're scoring a certain level of question right consistently, or exceeding the level of competency consistently, you pass. I'll give you an example. Imagine I'm putting Chris through a spelling bee. I have a huge number of words that rank in difficulty from 1 to 10. A level 1 word is spelling like the, and a level 10 is spelling like esquimulos. We say that the standard in order for Chris to pass is for him to be able to consistently spell words at the level 7 difficulty and below. I start Chris with easy level 1 words, the dog runs, and work him up as he succeeds. Apple, establishment, indubitably, until he consistently is getting words wrong. Now, if the words he's getting wrong are level 8 and above, it's no big deal. He's still passing the test because he can complete level 7 words. I'm just challenging him to his limits.
The same is true for questions on the EMT and medic exam. The computer will start you out with lower level questions and ramp up the difficulty until you're getting questions wrong. If you answered questions correctly in the range of difficulty the NREMT has determined to be a competency standard, you pass the test and are now a licensed practitioner, and we can pop some bubbly. If not, the test will tell you in which of the 5 modules you didn't meet the standard, and you can work with us to adjust your study plan accordingly.
So what does this mean for you? Well, it means that no matter how good you are, you'll walk out of the NREMT failing about 50% of the questions. So feeling like you did lousy is completely normal. Your mind is telling you you flunked based on the number of questions you got wrong, when really you're being judged on the quality of the questions that you got right.
If anyone walks out of the NREMT feeling like they nailed it based on the number of questions they answered correctly, it probably means they're feeling some false confidence, or the test did not find them worthy of ramping up to higher level questions because of their scores. Bottom line, don't get in your head. It's going to seem hard when you're doing well. While taking the test, hard questions shouldn't make you despair, but encourage you because the test finds you worthy of challenging you to the next higher level.
This also means that the computer is working to get you to the competency level in all 5 modules in different ways. So shutting off at 45, 75, 95, or 120 questions has little bearing on how you did. You can fail or pass in a short amount of time, or fail or pass in a long period of time. There's no need to be nervous after or during the test because of the number of questions you're doing.
Here's another reason why the number of questions shouldn't worry you. Every test will contain pilot questions that the National Registry is trying out and that don't mean anything for your score. The computer could potentially give you 50 questions and determine that you're good to go, then just use you as a lab rat for another 70 questions that have no bearing on your exam at all.
Now let's debunk some other rumors. Lots of people think that the NREMT will give you questions that have multiple right answers or all wrong answers, and you have to determine which is most right or least wrong. You've probably heard this from some reputable sources, maybe even your instructors. Well, they're not lying to you, at least intentionally, because this used to be true. However, for a few years now, the NREMT has only been writing questions with one factual correct answer, so this is no longer something you have to worry about. The answer is there, it's undebatable, you just have to find it.
How about the old local protocol issue? You hear things like, well, in my area, we use certain dosages. So if the NREMT asked me what to put for the dose, I had to put that dose, or the book's dose, or the college's dose, or some other dose. Which one do I use? Here's the good news. The NREMT strives to stay away from any local protocol-like questions and aims for industry standards. This means having to recall the specific dose of an obscure medication is highly unlikely. The registry is more concerned that you know what type of medication to use or recognize things like contraindications and mechanisms of action. It's not trying to mess you up with debatable minutiae. It's trying to make sure you understand general clinical concepts.
Another thing we hear a lot about is that the National Registry is hard because it's not created by practicing providers, just some old people behind a desk. This isn't true either. The NREMT writes their questions through practicing providers throughout the country and strives to give relevant, practical questions involving your future work.
Hopefully, by debunking some of the myths you hear, understanding how the test works, and eliminating the mystery of what you're walking into, we can help you concentrate on what matters most, your preparation. As always, Sights and Sirens is your gold standard resource for National Registry prep, with easy to understand and enjoyable lectures that cover all the content, as well as workbooks and quizzes to test your comprehension. You can rest assured that Sights and Sirens is dedicated to helping you succeed. Good luck, and let us know if we can ever support you.